This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Yes, here we go. Follow the Money. Paulie Howard, Mike Somich, live from Circa downtown, baby. Sirius XM channel 158. Big show coming up. We'll talk to Kevin Rogers with prize picks on some WNBA trends, K numbers, first five numbers. Tip jar is open. Mitch and Paulie's Pizzeria. Looking forward to that. Got some big tickets that have been sent in. We'll run them all down coming up. Tim Murray live from Hawaii to talk Stanford and Hawaii. And Brad Powers is back, baby. College football right around the corner. We'll go rapid fire with Brad. Everything week 0, everything week 1. Favorite win totals, Heisman talk. A couple tweets he had as well. Big show coming up. More action than a John Wick movie because Somich is here. Not next to me, but on the show. And I know we're going to get into horse racing and the Travers, and he's sending a ton of futures and fantasy talk. We got NFL preseason tonight. We got day baseball. This is awesome. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great, Paul. You're getting me hyped up here. We got a huge weekend at Saratoga with the Travers 5 or 6 grade 1 stakes out there, including a $2,000 contest that VSiN and First Bet are putting on. I can't wait to talk a little fantasy with you. You just pointed me to a 2,000-to-1 future that I didn't realize was even on the board that I'm looking forward to talking about a little bit later. We got preseason tonight. What more could you want, Paul? We got a little bit of everything.
You got it, baby. We're going to give out that 2,001 in about 20 minutes. Looking forward to that. Mike also likes a horse in the 6th at Saratoga. Stay tuned for that one. We have a final already. The A's swept the Twins. Kurtz goes deep again. A's are playing good ball. And we mentioned yesterday during this streak, this 15 of 23 run that they're on, they're averaging almost 6 runs a game. They score 8 today. They take out the Twins 8-3. Good job by the A's. And the Dodgers now putting it on Colorado from the amazing but true department. Since the All-Star break, the Rockies 15-16, the Dodgers 14-16. So they're trying to salvage a split here in this 4-game set, Mike. 5-1 early in the third. It's Kershaw for the Dodgers as they have that huge series with the Padres on deck.
Yeah, it's crazy as we've seen the baseball season roll on. Some of these teams that have gotten hot. I mean, the A's were that darling early where they were frisky. Then we had the Marlins who all of a sudden ripped off a winning streak. And now Colorado is able to play 500 baseball. It seems like some of these teams that are a little bit younger, but not quite the cream of the crop, still able to be competitive here later into the summer. And to your point on the A's, they're going to be a fun baseball team when they get to Vegas. Like, I love some of the young talent they have. Kurtz is going to win AL Rookie of the Year. That's just a team that I'm excited to see in a couple of years when they actually debut the stadium there.
Yes. In play, total 14.5. And you think the Dodgers could spit it up, take back 6-1 on the Rockies in play in that one. Dodgers batting now in the third inning. And Kansas City, after blowing a big lead, now Kansas City leads Texas 5-4 in the top of the 6th. They score 3 in the first last night. That was it. The bullpen blows it in the 7th. Vicious beat if you had the under. Texas gets 3 in the top of the 9th. So the Royals still in this mix here, only a couple games out of it behind the Red Sox. They didn't lose any ground with the loss, but Boston gets ready for the Yankees coming up. And how about Priester, Mike? It's 2-1 Brewers. This is a huge game. I mean, if the Brewers lose this, the Cubs would take 4 out of 5 in that series. And even though they had this long winning streak, they only have a 5-game lead in the division. But it's 2-1 Brewers, bottom of the 6th. Since May 30th, 10-0 with an ERA of 3. The last 14 times he's pitched, the Brewers are 14-0.
Priester's been awesome for them. It's one of those just revelations out of this Brewers staff that you weren't expecting at the start of the season. It's the reason why they are the hottest team right now in the majors. And you mentioned it, like, this is a huge series for the Cubs. They have delivered through the first 4 games, going to 3-1. They had to feel good about themselves. They had a Monga on the mound today. They had their best pitcher out there. If they were in there, they can keep clawing back on the Brewers. Despite that long win streak, it felt like you could make a race out of this in the NL Central. I think the Brewers just too deep on the pitching staff, so I don't want to get involved on the Cubs inside the division. But this is a Cubs team when the bats are hot, and they were hot early in the season. They were really carrying this team. They're frisky as well. I mean, this is, if you ask me which one I wanted to bet to win the NL, if I'm taking a future ticket here, give me the Cubs. If you want to know who's going to win the division, it feels like it's the Brewers.
Okay. You see runs in this game coming up with the Mets and Nats ready to go. It's Manaea against Gore. And he's been, last 3 starts, Manaea's got an ERA of 8. And the Mets lost 15 of 20 now. And they keep losing. They are 0-8 in one-run games since late July. This is right there for the Reds to take now. Another big game. I think I see runs here with 8 and how bad Manea's been.
Yeah, Gore has had some struggles for himself as well. He's had some pretty big blow-up games, too. I was surprised this was sitting at 8. I went to the weather to see if there was any wind blowing in or specifically solid pitching stats. There's not. This is one of those where, especially, first pitch just happened here, but if you want to jump on your app and you can get an 8, I don't mind the over here at all, especially since you're getting 2 starting pitchers that they don't mind blowing up. You can get a 4-run inning from either of these starters.
Yep, and you have 5 minutes to go until first pitch at Petco. It's Cease against Verlander. Verlander 1-9 on the season. Fryer's trying to take 3 out of 4. Cease was god-awful last time out against the Dodgers. The Padres are $2 against the Giants. That filthy San Diego bullpen. Verlander was good last time out. Hard luck loser in that one. Total of 8, though. Do you think there's runs in this game coming up?
I'm not playing the under. I don't trust Cease at all. And you mentioned Verlander. Yes, he was good in his last game. He has been not great prior to that. And so I would rather try and fade specifically Verlander here. You can get over 2.5 team total on the Padres' first 5. That's where I would specifically try and target this one. You can get plus money on it. And to me, going against Verlander is better than trying to fade both these. I'm never playing the Padres minus 200, though. That is way too big of a price as a favorite here with Cease on the hill.
Yep. Follow the money. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Paulie Howard, Mike Somich. Okay, 2 games NFL preseason was huge moves. One I understand. The other one I don't get. See what you think, Mike. So Carolina opened a 3-point favorite against the Steelers. Pittsburgh's up to 6 at Circa and 5.5 at almost every other spot. Tomlin on a 41-27 straight up run in the preseason. Carolina is 0-2 in the preseason, outscored 50-13. No Bryce, no Dalton, so it's going to be Plummer and Bryce Perkins against, how long does Rudolph go? Probably Rudolph and Thompson, though. And that's, I agree with the move, is Pittsburgh's up to 6 in this game.
Yeah, this move makes a ton of sense. With the injury to Dalton last week, you knew you're not going to get anything out of Bryce Young this week. They have to be careful since your backup's hurt. And you look at the 2 quarterbacks they're going to play here, Plummer and Perkins, like, that's bad for preseason. Like, that's not even bad for regular. That's bad preseason quarterbacking. Yeah. Rudolph is getting the start for Pittsburgh. If I knew I was getting a half of Rudolph, I'd be interested in laying the first half with the Steelers. That's out there at minus 3.5 right now. Yeah. You can lay the first quarter with the Steelers at minus 1.5. That to me is tempting. I want to try and shorten this up. I always talk in baseball how I handicap pitchers. So a lot of times I'm playing first 5s. Well, in preseason, I can handicap the starters, how long they're going to be in. So I want to focus on that specific segment when I'm betting preseason games. I know I'm going to get at least a quarter of Rudolph. So if I want to play this move and play with the Pittsburgh side of this, I want to play first quarter on the Steelers when I know I'm getting Rudolph at quarterback versus when we move to Skylar Thompson or their 4th-string quarterback.
Okay, and this one as well. This one's getting carried away. This game's on Amazon Prime. DraftKings opened the Patriots 2.5. The Giants are up to 6.5. So they've scored 30-plus points in both preseason games. Dart's been awesome. But, my Giants source says they don't care. They're not playing anybody. They went for it last week because you have the short turnaround. You played the Jets on Saturday night. Now you got the short turnaround here Thursday. But I would showcase Winston here. Trade him to Dallas, whatever. Dart's been so good. You'll go Wilson, Dart, and then you got Tommy Cutlets. But still, everyone loves what they're doing in the preseason. They love that you go Wilson, Dart, Winston, DeVito. So Giants up to 6.5 here against the Patriots, and it's going to be a lot of Dobbs and Woolridge.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the move in a sense when you just look at the quarterbacks you're expecting to take snaps. It's big advantage toward the Giants. It feels like this move has gotten a little far away, though, right? If you told me that this is where you're going to move and we're going to see Giants minus 3, if we were going to see Giants minus 4, okay, I can get behind that because of the quarterback play. But no one is playing for the Giants here. They're going to have their 2nd and 3rd string wide receivers out there to start the game. You're going to get to 4th and 5th by the end of the game. You don't have the starting offensive line. You don't have the starting running backs. A 6.5. That kind of got away from it here. I would, again, be focused in here on the first half. If you want to play the Giants, reduce the number, see if you can find a 3 out there. But the full game, 6.5, it just feels like for what we're going to get in the second half of this game, I want no part of.
Can you sneak in a pick at race 6 at Saratoga in 2 minutes?
6 is off already, so we'll have to go to race 7 at Saratoga. We got 27 minutes till that one, so we'll give out a race 7 Saratoga in the next segment.
All right, sounds good. Damn, what was okay? For what it's worth, so I don't forget. And this is I don't mind a bomber here. in race 8, Good Night, God Bless is 20-1. I think 20 starts, Mike. 9, a couple firsts and a couple seconds, but they were poor tracks, so you kind of poo-pooed it.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, so the 8-horse Good Night, God Bless, 20-1 in the 8th race. 18 career starts, 4 win, 5 seconds, 1/3. So Love's running well and running hard, but has done most of the winning at Finger Lakes and Laurel, which are 2 lower-level racetracks when you compare it to Saratoga. Staying at the same class level last time, ran 4th in that race. Not completely, it's 20-1. Yeah. I'm never going to talk you off a 20-1 horse. Not a horse that really caught my eye, but again, at 20-1, crazier things can happen. I do like the 3 quite a bit. Lemon Muffin in that spot, 4-1 on the morning line. This is a horse that was in grade 1, grade 2 competition last year, was in the D. Wayne Lucas barn, and he, unfortunately, RIP D. Wayne Lucas, a Hall of Famer, absolute superstar in our sport. He is not a trainer I love to bet. He's the Lemon Muffin switching over to the Rudolph Brissett barn, a trainer I do love to bet. Gets a big jockey upgrade today as well with Flavian Pratt coming aboard, and I like the price of 4-1, so I'll be playing Lemon Muffin in the 8th.
Very good. We'll talk about the 7th race coming up in a second. Clock's ticking. Week 0 on Saturday. NFL just weeks away. Get VSiN Pro. Lock in your edge. New subscribers. Instant access. Both our college and NFL betting guides, team previews, power ratings, betting systems, best bets. The morning email from Bill 80. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits. The betting systems from Mackinnon. The prop analyzer. The dog videos. Full access to the tools, data, and pro systems. $9.99. Wake up. Let's go. VSiN.com/subscribe. More picks and some good futures and props from Samich coming up on Follow the Money. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Got a good day coming, so wait and see. It's a good.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
On the next numbers game, college football week 0 bets with our guy Chris Felica from Fox Sports and the Bear Bets podcast. We'll hit weekend Premier League matches with Paul Carr, talk contest strategy with Jason Lisk from TeamRankings.com, who will join me and Matt in studio tomorrow. Plus, Matt and I continue our deep dives into NFL divisions and talk week 1 bets we are eyeing. All that and more tomorrow on a numbers game at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Lindor goes deep in the first, 1-0 Mets. 5-1 Dodgers, top of 4. Leadoff man on. Brewers clinging to a 2-1 lead in the 7th against the Cubbies, and still 5-4 Kansas City in the bottom of the 6th against the Rangers. All right, a lot of NFL talk here and a lot of futures talk as well. Mr. Somich, why? I'm high on the Green Bay Packers. You are as well. We took them in the NFL draft we did last week, plus 250 to win the division. I think Detroit takes a step back. I'm not there with McCarthy. I'm not there yet with Williams and the Bears. You're high on Green Bay. Tell us why.
Yeah, I love this Green Bay team. It's one of the youngest teams in the NFL. If you look at the draft classes that they came out of, it's almost all exclusively out of the last 4 or so years, outside of Love, who's a little bit older, and a couple of the defensive players. This is a team that could easily take a leap together, right? I think Golden was a great pick at the wide receiver position, and you know that LaFleur, when he has a true one, he will really utilize him. Just look what they were able to do with Devontae Adams on this team. I think Golden really helps them on the outside. I think the offensive line is significantly better than what we saw last year. The defense is a year older. You've got continuity at both the OC and the DC position here, and you've got a backfield that can run the football as well. All of those things are reasons why I think that Green Bay does get better over last year. By the way, this Green Bay team won double-digit games last year. It wasn't a bad football team. Jordan Love was also injured 75% of the time. They had to start Malik Willis a couple times, but Love had shoulder issues, knee issues, hand issues, a little bit of everything last year. If he can stay healthier, I think he ascends into that top 8 level of the NFL quarterback. And then you mentioned it. I look around the division, Paulie. Detroit, they are loaded with talent. But that offensive line, which was top 5 last year, unquestionably, is now top 15, right? They took a step back. You lose your OC and Ben Johnson. You lose your DC and Aaron Glenn. This reminds me of the Eagles 2 seasons ago. They go to the Super Bowl. They lose both Steichen and Gannon, and it takes them a year to kind of figure it out again. I think we're going to see similar growing pains for a Lions team that has a first-place schedule here and has to go through it. And then I think the Bears are improved, but are they good enough to really compete for the division? I don't think so. I think the Vikings are interesting, but do I trust J.J. McCarthy? I've got no clue. I trust Kevin O'Connell, but I'm not sure what I'm going to get out of J.J. McCarthy. And all those things just lead me back to the Packers, who are sitting here at plus 250, a juicy number to win the division. They're a team that I played over the 9.5 win total. They're someone I think has a shot at getting to the Super Bowl, and they're a team that I don't mind at all at plus 250. So they're in the account here to win the NFC North.
Okay, how about the Bills to get the 1 seed?
This is my favorite bet. I mean, I've talked about this one for 2.5 months since the schedule came out. This is just cupcake city for Buffalo. They've got 3 very difficult games, but they're all at home. They've got Kansas City, Baltimore, and Philadelphia all at home, and they're spread out. One's to start the season, one's in the middle, one's late in the season. Their most difficult road game is the Houston Texans. That's the list. Everything else is cupcake city for them on the road. If you look at their division, I'm down on the Dolphins. I'm down on the Jets. I think that the Patriots will be better, but are they going to be Buffalo better? No, not that good. And so to me, this one was one of the first ones in my account. It was as high as plus 275 when the markets opened. Once the schedules came out, it got absolutely hammered down, but it's been sitting at plus 190 for a while here. I still think there is value. I mean, they have an opportunity to go conservatively. I think they go 13-4. I think they have the opportunity to go with 14 or 15 wins rather easily with the schedule, though.
Okay, Canales did a great job last year. The early benching with Bryce Young, wake-up call. He fixed them. He played well down the stretch. Where are you at with Bryce Young passing yards?
I was surprised how low this number was. So it's sitting at 32.50.5 yards right now for the season. If you look at after the return to the starting lineup, Bryce Young was putting up 226 yards per game passing. If he throws for 226 yards per game, it takes 15 games for him to hit this number. Well, that was with last year's talent. Okay, Xavier Legette was a rookie. You had Thielen in and out of the lineup. The offensive line was an absolute mess. Fast forward to this offseason. Offensive line is improved. You go out and you get Tet McMillan as your number 1A or 1B, depending on what you think of Legette. You still have Legette in the building. You still have Thielen in the building. Yeah. And you get a full year of good Bryce Young. And the best part of it, Paulie, this defense stinks out loud.
Yes.
They're going to have to score a lot of points to try and stay competitive. And because of that, they're going to be throwing the football. If Young throws for 250 a game here, we need 12 games for him to go over this 32.50.5 number. I love the Bryce Young over this year. I think he's going to have, I like this Panthers offense from a fantasy perspective as well, because they're going to have to score points. That means Bryce Young's going to be throwing the football. So if you believe in Bryce at all, Even if you think he'll play what he did toward the second half of last year, this is still a very easy number to go over.
How about Charbonnet over rushing yards, 575?
Yeah, this is another one where I was big on Kenneth Walker early in the season, and I like Charbonnet as well. And I think that Charbonnet now is the safer play of the two with the numbers where they sit on the board. Walker consistently just struggles with injuries, and we're already seeing it in the preseason where he is getting banged up. But if you look at what they did with this offensive line in the offseason, they go out, they draft Gray Zabel, first-round pick out of North Dakota. He is awesome. I don't know if you've watched him in the preseason. He took on Chris Jones when they were playing the Chiefs, and he was just moving him out of the way like it was nothing. The zone blocking scheme that we're going to see from Kubiak, who was down with the Saints last year, and we saw in those first 2 weeks when the Saints were healthy what they could do on the ground with a good offensive line, how they could attack with multiple tight ends. You can just take that offense and you can plant that in Seattle. That's what they did. That's why they got rid of DK Metcalf. They want to make sure that they have one, maybe two very good wide receivers, but after that, it's tight ends, it's running the football, and specifically an outside zone run scheme. That's what Charbonnet and Walker are best at, and that is really going to allow them to be able to flourish. Right now, you get over 575.5 on Charbonnet. Look, he's going to get work if Walker's in the lineup. If Walker's out of the lineup, he is number one running back with a star, which means that you're going to see 100-yard games out of him consistently if he is able to get that number one position. I think Charbonnet flies over the 575.5 if you have any issues from a health perspective with Walker. And I think it's close if Walker's healthy all season. So I like Charbonnet's over quite a bit and what I think is going to be a very good Seattle run game.
How do you like to play division exactas? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2? How many of those did you play, and how do you usually like to bet that?
It depends specifically on the divisions, right? I think if you can, so if I'm going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, I want to be able to absolutely nail two of the positions, right? So if I'm looking at, let's say, the AFC South or the NFC South, I think the Bucs are clearly your best team, and I think the Saints are the worst team in football.
I agree.
So then the question becomes, what do you get if you play Bucs, Falcons, Panthers, Saints, and what do you get if you play Bucs, Panthers, Falcons, Saints? So you play both picks essentially, and you're looking at plus money. If you can nail the top and the bottom of the division, I think it makes a lot of sense just to flip-flop those two middle teams because you're often going to get plus 400, plus 450. So you're creating a bet that's around plus 225, plus 250, somewhere in that range. And all you need to do is be right on the top and the bottom. This one specifically, I think you can almost pencil in Bucs, Falcons, Panthers, Saints as a top four. So this is one in the exact order that I want to look at.
Yep.
And then I'm generally, and I'd love your take on this, Paulie. When I'm playing exactas, I'm usually putting the favorite in the division first. And I'm trying to find a way to create better value around a favorite I really like. So the Bills, for instance, one that jumps out to me where I think there is no way they lose that East.
Right.
But if you can put the team in second correctly, all of a sudden you can get a little plus money back versus laying a big number.
I like to play. Yeah, I like that there because I'm down on Miami as well, the plus 150. I also did the AFC South. I did Texans, Jacksonville, Colts, Titans, and then I flipped Jacksonville with Indy. One's 9-1, one's 12-1. How do you see? I know you love the Texans. How does it come 2, 3, 4 in your opinion?
Yeah, I do love the Texans, and I again, I'm down on the Titans here. This is another where I think the top and the bottom are very easy. Like I think Cam Ward has an opportunity to be good in the NFL, but I bet Washington State in the Pac-12, the final year of the Pac-12. I bet Miami last year. I'm a Miami fan. He's got some growing pains to go through because he likes to turn his back to the defensive line. He likes to try and extend these plays, and he doesn't mind putting the ball in harm's way. And that's like the three things you cannot do as an NFL quarterback. You can't turn your back. You can't try and extend plays against elite athletes. You can't throw picks. Cam will do all three of those things at some points during this season. I actually, now that Daniel Jones is the starter, I think this Colts team could be a little bit dangerous inside that division. Wow. I like the Texans one. I like the you got Tyler Warren out there. I like the receiving core. You've got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. The defense has some talent. They're not absolutely awful. And you look at that Texans offensive line, that's the one weakness. I love the Texans defense. I think the Texans defense is the best in the NFL, not the Broncos, which a lot of people are saying. But this Colts team, and Shane Steichen, who's a coach that I like, is officially in the frisky category here. You can get a monster number right now in my mind to play the exacta. If you play Texans over Colts inside that division, you're getting 6.5 to 1. That's just way too big right now.
Very good. Ton of negativity on the Colts, so you're right with that price. VSiN's exclusive betting splits cut through the noise, pulling real-time data straight from Circa and DraftKings. Track the percentage of bets and handle on every game across every major sport so you can make sharper, more informed bets. Start your edge today, just $9.99. VSiN.com/subscribe. You all love it. Get it now. VSiN.com/subscribe. Join the team. Dodgers have opened it up on the Rockies 7-1, still batting in the top of the fourth. Up next, we'll go to the 7th race at Saratoga, and we both will make a case for a 2,000-to-1 shot to win an award. The news gets better and better every single day. I didn't know we were going to talk about this. We saw the notes. We're on the same page. We're on the same player. We'll get to some fantasy sleepers and as well and more exactas coming up on Follow the Money VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158.
This season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual Pro subscription and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thursday night football. Steelers 6 everywhere now as they take on Carolina. Carolina opened 3, but it's going to be Plummer and Perkins for Carolina, and they've only scored 13 points in the preseason thus far. And DraftKings opened the Patriots 2.5, Giants 6.5 everywhere tonight. Both games on television. Giants have been awesome in the preseason. Let's go to race 7 at Saratoga.
Yeah, head out to Saratoga.
Let's go.
Head out to Saratoga. Race 7, full field. We got 11 horses headed to the post here. Turf sprints, where the speed has not been great at Saratoga. After the start of the meet, where you wanted to be on the lead in turf sprints, you now want to come from mid-pack. And I originally had the 12 on top here, 7-2 on the morning line. But it's been bet down to 5-2, and it's getting a little bit too short of a price for a horse that's going to have to go gate to wire. I'm going to go to my second pick here, the number 3, Shades of Jade, 8-1 right now in the live market. This horse closed well first time out of Gulfstream Park's turf sprinting and didn't break very sharply for Jenna Antonucci. Now she ships him up to Saratoga and gets Santana Jr. to ride, who's been phenomenal so far at this meet. Like the post, too, the 3 post, a much more preferential post than the 12 if you were turf sprinting. And like the fact that this horse should break a little bit better and be able to make a move around the far turn. So give me the number 3 horse here. 7-1 now on the board. Race number 7 at Saratoga. You got 5 minutes to post here before this one goes off.
All right, let's get that one. Very good. All right, here we go. I'll start. Offensive Rookie of the Year, 2,000-1. Ollie Gordon. Dolphins, running back. Jalen Wright walked off practice slowly with an apparent injury flanked by a trainer and now headed into the medical facility for more evaluation. Gordon gets most of the reps in practice today. Gordon's been a star in camp. Gordon could be the backup running back. Gordon has 21 touches in the preseason. Achane has a calf strain. I mean, this is real. This could happen. Now, I'm down on the Dolphins, too. But certainly, they're good on offense, and we've seen what Achane has done. And if it takes one injury, this guy could be the starter, and that's going to be a lot of touches, touchdowns, catching a ball out of the backfield. 2,000-1. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Ollie Gordon. What do you think, Mike Somich?
Yeah, we're going to do a fantasy sleeper segment, right? And Ollie Gordon is a player that I'm targeting in almost all of my drafts. He's either sitting on your waiver wire or he's a late, like literally last 2-round pick right now. He was a Heisman candidate at Oklahoma State to start the year last year. Didn't have a great season there. That's why he ended up on day 3 of this draft. But you outlined the case as to why the usage is going to be there for him. First off, Achane struggles in the red zone as a running back, right? He was not great inside the 5-yard line. Gordon's going to get those touches anyway. He's going to be a touchdown vulture in that, even when you have Achane in the lineup. Achane's also missed multiple games in his first 2 years. He is very fast, but he's not the biggest dude out there. He gets popped and gets injured. Hamstring, something I never want to deal with when you're looking at a wide receiver or a running back, any type of skill position. It feels like Ollie Gordon ends up starting, I don't know, at least 4 games this year for the Dolphins, if not half the season.
Yes.
And if you end up with what, 10 starts, 11 starts, and you're getting the key touches in a Dolphins offense that's going to score points and the defense can't stop anybody. That secondary is an absolute mess. Why can't Ollie Gordon have one of these big out of nowhere seasons? I didn't even know he was 2,000-1 when I put that into the rundown for us. I'm now going to go bet him to win Rookie of the Year because at 2,000-1, I mean, why not, right? Just take a swing. That's a huge number for a running back that's usage is going to be good, going to get red zone usage, and has breakaway speed. We saw that in college. So, like I said, I'm down on the Dolphins too, Paulie. But Ollie Gordon could be the bright spot for them this season.
Very good. Well said. And we'll go inside Mama's Pizzeria coming up, and the tip jar's open, and Ollie Gordon's in there as well. How about some other sleepers you like?
Yeah, I think that there's some really interesting ones. First off, like 2 players that I'm very high on that I don't think are necessarily qualify as sleepers anymore. First on Travion Henderson. Everyone's talking about him up in that Patriots backfield. He had the 100-yard kick return in the first preseason game. He had a 17-yard touchdown in the second preseason game. He's explosive. And when you look at Ramondre Stevenson and what he's been able to offer that that Patriots backfield the last couple of years, it's not great, right? He had fumble problems at one point. His EPA is not what you would expect for what they have had up front blocking for him. He's gotten opportunities and not been able to succeed. everyone's comping this to what we saw in the Bucs last year with Bucky Irving and taking over for White. I do think it's a similar situation to that. Henderson should be very good inside this lineup. His ADP is now getting a little too high to qualify as a sleeper, but he is still clearly the Patriots running back I want, and one of those good second or third running back options. The player that I love that's now getting some run is Ricky Pearsall.
Yes.
I don't understand why he is not being drafted significantly higher than what he is currently at. You've got Ayuk. He's going to be out 8 to 10 weeks. The Jennings contract situation's not figured out at this point. But even more than that, when you talked to anyone on the inside with the 49ers, they were talking about how their plan this year was Pearsall as your 2, and Jennings was going to play the slot. They wanted to feature Pearsall more across from Ayuk. Pearsall is going to be the one for at least 10 weeks inside a Kyle Shanahan offense that wants to be able to throw the football and has a running game that is dangerous. I think Pearsall has a monster second year here because he is going to get that opportunity early in the season, and you're in an offense that wants to find him the football. He was a player I love playing props when I was coming on last year on Fridays with you. We talked about Pearsall all the time because he came on late in the season after the unfortunate shooting injury early in the season. I think Pearsall is set up to have a phenomenal second year.
Follow the money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Paulie Howard, Mike Somich, talking NFL. We'll get to the pizzeria in 20 minutes. Kevin Rogers to give out some props, and Tim Murray live from Hawaii, and, of course, Brad Powers in an hour to talk college football. Some other futures in the NFL. How high are you on the Broncos, and do you think there's value there with an exacta in the West?
I do. Look, I like playing favorites in that top spot, like I mentioned last segment. But if I think there's a clear 2, I will take a shot here with a longer price. And I think this is the year the Chiefs get knocked off the top spot in the AFC West. I was originally high on the Chargers, but I don't love what's been happening in camp. We've got injuries to the wide receiving unit that was already weak. We've got an offensive line injury to Slater. He's going to miss the year. Yeah, you can move Alt over, but that still drastically negatively affects what you're going to have in that offensive line position. I don't think the Chargers, especially with their travel, if you look at their schedule early, Paulie, they are frequent flyer champions. They're just going coast to coast to coast to coast. At some point, that is going to catch up with you, logging all those miles early in the season. And this Denver team, I mean, the vibes are immaculate right now, right? It's going to be one of the best defenses in football. You've got R.J. Harvey, who looks like he's going to be good for that backfield. You're hearing good things about Troy Franklin, what he's able to do in the passing game. I'm not sure if I believe Bo Nix is ready to make a year 2 jump, but I do believe that Sean Payton can properly manage what Bo Nix is going to be able to do. I think Denver is very live to win the division. And because of what we have seen at Chargers training camp, I think Kansas City is very likely to slot themselves in that second spot. Right now, you can get 5-1 on the division exacta with the Broncos over the Chiefs. So I'll take a little bit of a swing in the AFC West and put Broncos over Chiefs as an exact 1-2 finish.
I mentioned the Warren Sharp preview magazine, by 500 pages, please. What he had, but huge. This is but he made the breakdown that every time the Chargers played a good quarterback, they lost, and then look at the good quarterbacks that the quarterbacks they beat rather, and they beat up on some bad ones, and then what happened in the playoff game. So you're right. I don't like what's happening with the injuries as well. Denver looks good, and maybe the Raiders can be frisky as well, but that's wild. What do you think of the Sky Moore trade? Does that do anything for you that the Niners acquired him?
Not really. It feels like the Chiefs aren't letting go of a wide receiver that they think could be good down the line, especially one that you can use in gadget situations. Andy Reid loves to use wide receivers running the football. He wants speed. And they have not had the most healthy wide receiver core. You've got the suspension that's looming for Rashee Rice as well. If they felt like there was any fruit left on the vine, they're probably keeping him around. The fact that they moved on from him tells me that he's just got to be listed as a bust at this point until someone can prove me otherwise.
Yeah, and Robinson suspended the first 3 games. Shanahan confirmed that yesterday, and still a lot going on with the 49ers with injuries and contracts and all that other business as well. But the comeback is easiest schedule in football, which the Rams got good news with Stafford, though. He was at the press conference today. Apparently, he says, I'm good to go and I'm okay. I'd still be concerned, though, Mike. 37 years old, and he's only thrown the ball a couple times.
37 in a back injury. Yeah. That immediately flashes the red lights, right? Like I'm in my early 40s. I can tell you when my back hurt at 37, it was not a quick process. And if someone who was 300 pounds decided to land on top of me, it would have started hurting again real fast. So, I mean, Stafford's a gamer. I felt like he was always going to end up out there and end up playing, but you look at this and you just kind of have to wonder, okay, is he going to be able to last the entire season? What's it going to look like when he starts to get popped? I love the defense. I think that they're phenomenal, but I just don't know what to do on the offensive side of the ball with the Rams. I'm interested to see how Devontae Adams fits in because he still has some gas left in the tank. And if Stafford stays healthy and you've got Nakua and you've got Adams, this offense can move the football, but Stafford's a big key to it. All right, win some, lose some coming up next. Some big tickets that cashed in play. There was a huge ticket in the WNBA that cashed. Another ticket was 50-1. I can't believe this market is even offered. And how about a baseball card going for $500,000 that's torn in half? That's next on Follow the Money.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, Phillies get it done. Most runs, 8-1. Market that's offered daily at Caesars, Will Hill, and DraftKings. Highest scoring game. Phillies Mariners 8-1. The Rockies do it again. Ohtani had nothing. Plus 260. Do you believe it? They get it done and they keep playing good ball and been frisky. Not today, though. Nationals plus 155. Beat the Mets and the Pirates plus 140. This is offered every day at DraftKings. Will every team score a run? There's been a shutout 6 days in a row in 8 of the last 9. It's something I never thought of till I noticed, hey, look at this prop. It's, you think, okay, all I have to do is get a run. I mean, there's a shutout every damn night. And the Astros were responsible for 3 of them.
That's wild. Like that you're on an 8-1 run right now with 6 shutouts in a row. What's the pricing on that line? I haven't seen that line. So what are you usually laying that everyone will score? Or is it plus money on the no?
It's a good plus. Well, every team scores.
Really?
Usually like plus 350, plus 270. Depends how many games are going and who's pitching. But yeah, it was there was a deep card the other day and it was plus 650. And the Astros got shut out, but that was the only team. Yeah. Home team's 11-3. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'd love to find someone who's been banging their head betting the yes on that one. If you're laying, 400, 500 every single day, you're like, it can't happen again.
Home team's 11-3, and a big ticket cashed in the WNBA. A hell of a finish in Los Angeles. Plum with a buzzer beater that the Sparks had to have. Becker's 40-plus points, 25-1. She was like, 9 threes or something? It was crazy what she did. And Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. Rakia Jackson had 15 points by the second quarter. I think she made her first 4 3-pointers as well. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on, Mike. I was surprised something like this is offered. It's creative, and that was sent in from a viewer. Will Schlittler have a no-hitter through 5 innings? 50-1 at FanDuel, and he took a no-no into the 7th. I can't believe that was offered. Great job.
It's incredible. I mean, we were talking about this before the show. You could spend, 5 hours looking through all of the things that are available at FanDuel, DraftKings, and some of these monster books, and you wouldn't even scratch the surface of every NFL bet that you could make right now during the preseason. I mean, the menus that are available and offered now are just, they're phenomenal. And they're just great for bettors because you can often find unique ways to bet the exact same opinion, and you're able to create value around it. And I would have never thought to look. Will a certain pitcher have a no-no through X amount of innings? That's wild.
Yeah. The thing that blew my mind was when we got to playoff time in the NBA or NBA Finals, the exact method of first basket or first point of an NBA game. I mean, these are huge payouts, of course. But it's like, okay, so-and-so makes a free throw or so Harden with a dunk, some of this stuff. That's the stuff I can't believe that is offered and people can cash. I can't believe this one either, Mike. Someone paid...
This is the stuff...
Go ahead.
This is the stuff where betting is fun, right?
Yes.
Where it's you're not doing this with your full unit or your mess. No, you're like, hey, I'm going to watch Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Why not have some fun with it? Why not take a crazy price, get instant gratification, and then figure out what you're going to bet your regular amount with on some of this other stuff?
The insanity continues. The auction will close Saturday in Dallas. That Jordan Kobe card could go for $10 million. I think the most expensive card ever is that Mickey Mantle for $12 million. Someone paid $500,000 for a Honus Wagner card that's ripped in half. I mean, half of it's gone. I mean...
there it is. It's crazy. I mean, this is that T206 set, right?
Yeah,
which was so popular. I think it's like 1918, somewhere around there. I mean, look, if you got the money, good on you, man. Like that, right? If you have the money and you want a Honus Wagner card, congratulations. But it is wild. You mentioned the double logo man NBA card, which is now going to be the most expensive NBA card ever sold.
Right.
The amount of money some of these baseball cards, hockey cards, basketball cards are fetching now is absolutely astronomical in my mind. And you also see the other side of this, Paulie. There was a Luka Doncic logo man card that sold for $3.2 million back in 22. It just resold for 1.7. So someone took $1.5 million bath on a basketball card in 2 years.
Very good. I didn't know that. Well, this isn't good. How's this going to go up in value? Who's going to say I have to have that? Honus Wagner, even though half the card's missing. I don't. I understand the Jordan Kobe thing, but
it's a 101 of its own. There's not another Honus Wagner ripped in half in the world, Paulie.
Yeah, okay. And they go for $1 million in a couple months. Friend of the show, Nicole sent this in. I love this. This is in Vermont. I would love to do this. You go on, it's wine tasting, and it's a golden retriever farm, and you hang out with all the golden retrievers on all that land and property. And it's called a golden dog farm, and they come out of the truck. Here they're playing. They get the tennis balls out, right? Pet them. You got the puppies coming in. He wants to play. Look at how creative. This is awesome. How creative this is. And you see all this. It's got to be 20, 30 of them. Golden retriever farm. Yeah.
That's incredible. The amount of energy running out of that truck when they put the back of that truck down was awesome. My wife would love this. So you're getting me in trouble here, Paulie, because I'm going to have to end up at this farm at some point.
Luke.
Wine and golden retrievers?
Yeah,
what more
right.
could you want?
No kidding. Luke, look that up. Let me know what that goes for. It's in Vermont. The Golden Dog Farm. Hang out with the retrievers. Top notch, baby. Some vicious beats last night, as always. How about the under in the Yankees game? Cruising along, 3-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Okay, everyone stay calm. 3-1 in the bottom of the 9th, and they spit up another lead. So it's 3-3 in the 10th, and then again the Yankees hit a couple home runs, and they win 6-3, and it goes over. And then 6-4. And then the Royals game under. It's 3-2 Kansas City in the 7th. The total was 8.5. They give up the lead, but it's 3-3 in the 9th. Okay, but then Texas gets 3. There was a big error that extended the inning, and then a double, 2-run double, and Texas wins 6-3. Ridiculous with the beats in baseball. Before the line moves, the sharp place is already there. They don't just follow the market, they help move it. You're not going to outsmart billion-dollar books or full-time sharps on your own. With the sharp plays, you don't have to. Powered by advanced AI, plugged into trusted insider sources. Sharp Plays delivers the edge serious bettors use every day. Free betting reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insights sent straight to your inbox or X feed. And Jeff and the crew have been doing it since 2011. Been with Follow the Money since day one. Mr. Poison t-shirts. Sharp Plays has delivered documented results, public logs, transparent receipts. SharpPlays.com, trusted by pros, watched by the books. Visit SharpPlays.com and stay ahead of the line. 6-4 Kansas City, top of the 8th. Bobby Witt is 2 for 4. He's 16 for his last 36 during this 10-game hitting streak. And the Brewers added 2. Cubbies have 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 8th, 4-1. And now they're out of it. 4-1 Brewers, top of the 9th. If they get 3 more outs, that would be 12 straight wins in games started by Priester and 15 straight when he's been on the mound. Incredible. He'd be 11-0 now with an ERA under 3. Who had that?
There have been some interesting ones, too. He gave up, I think it was a 6th spot to the Mets 2 weekends ago, and the Brewers put up 5 in the first 5, able to rally toward the end of the game to be able to get the win for them. It's a big game, Paulie. I mean, we mentioned it at the top. The Cubs kind of need this one. They need to try and claw their way back into this division race, especially with the way that the Brewers have been playing, and I felt like they had a shot, right? It was 2-1 for the majority of the game. You had the starter you wanted on the hill for the Cubs, and as Brewers team, like, you look up and down the lineup, they're not that scary.
Yeah.
But, man, they're clutch. Like, they're just getting hits whenever they need them right now, and that's what's really sparked this win streak.
How about the big Red Sox-Yankees series tonight? They have 7 meetings left. The Yankees have now passed Boston. This would be a matchup in the first round if the playoffs started today, and Giolito's going against Heel. Giolito, 2.34 ERA in his last 12 starts. Red Sox in a funk. Yankees are hot now.
Yeah, don't love it. I have been fading the Yankees, so I have them to miss the playoffs. I've got a Red Sox to make the playoffs. I got a Blue Jays division ticket. So I would like the Red Sox to be able to get things going again here. I thought that the water was leaking out of the boat for the Yankees, and they've been able to turn it around a little bit here in this past stretch. So hopefully we can get a little Red Sox action this weekend. They can sweep that series.
Yep. A record 14 home runs last 2 games for the Yankees, and that's a hell of a series. They're number 1 in stolen bases going back in the month of August. So playing a little small ball. And it's Seinfeld night. The first 18,000 fans get a George Costanza bobblehead that is called the nap episode, where he takes the nap under the desk that they installed in his office. You get that bobblehead tonight. First 18,000 fans. That is awesome on Seinfeld night, going out to the ballpark for the big series coming up. We'll shift gears. We'll talk to Kevin Rogers up next from Prize Picks. He's awesome with his numbers, with first 5, K props, and there's some wild stuff going on in the WNBA. He'll surprise you up next. All tickets cash the same, Matty Humans. It doesn't matter. Coming up on Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Paulie Howard, Mike Somich, live from Circa, Sirius XM, Channel 158.